The stars whispered my name as I drifted alone in the void, but it was the little girl's voice that shattered my eternity. Are you alone? Then marry my mom, she's the kindest. I froze in the dim glow of my cockpit, the words echoing through the comms link like a ghost from a forgotten dream. My ship, the Eternal Drift, hung suspended in the ink-black expanse between galaxies, engines humming a lonely lullaby. I'd been out here for years, decades, maybe chasing whispers of lost colonies, artifacts from civilizations long swallowed by the cosmos. Isolation was my companion, my curse. No family, no ties, just the cold arithmetic of survival. But this signal? It pierced the static like a knife, pulling me toward a derelict space station orbiting a rogue planet in the uncharted fringes. What kind of child broadcasts into the abyss like that? I punched in the coordinates, my hands trembling on the controls. The station loomed ahead, a skeletal behemoth of rusted metal and flickering lights, scarred by micrometeorites and time. As I docked, the airlock hissed open, revealing corridors laced with frost and shadows. My boots echoed in the silence, each step a question mark. Who was she? And why did her words feel like a lifeline thrown into my empty soul? But that was only the beginning. I ventured deeper, flashlight cutting through the gloom. Emergency beacons pulsed weakly, casting eerie red hues on bulkheads etched with alien script, not human, not quite. My suit's HUD scanned for life signs. Faint, erratic, clustered in the central hub. Heart pounding, I pushed through a jammed door, and there she was, a small girl, no more than 8, huddled in a nest of blankets and glowing holopads. Her eyes wide and luminous, locked onto mine like stars aligning. "You're here," she said, her voice tiny but steady, laced with an accent that hummed like distant engines. "I knew you'd come. Mommy said the lonely ones always do." I knelt, scanning her for injuries. She looked human enough, pale skin, tangled brown hair, a smudged face from whatever rations she'd scavenged. But the station, it reeked of something otherworldly. Panels hummed with tech I'd never seen, circuits pulsing like veins. "Kid, where are your parents? How did you get here?" She tilted her head, a sad smile playing on her lips. "Daddy's gone. Mommy's waiting. She's kindest, you know. She helps the alone ones." Her words tugged at something buried deep, a loneliness I'd armored myself against. I was Captain Elias Thorne, veteran of the Fringe Wars, survivor of black hole skirmishes. Alone by choice, or so I told myself. But her innocence cracked that facade. What secrets hid behind those eyes? I had to find out. We moved through the station's labyrinthine halls, her small hand in mine, surprisingly warm against my gloved palm. She chattered about star friends and whisper games, but her stories twisted like wormholes, tales of beings who cross dimensions, not just space. The air grew thicker, laced with a metallic tang that set my teeth on edge. Alarms blared faintly in the distance, ignored warnings from systems long abandoned. Then, a chamber opened before us. Vast domed, with holographic stars swirling overhead like a captive galaxy. In the center stood a pedestal, and atop it a crystalline pod glowing with inner light. The girl pulled me forward. "See, Mommy's sleeping, but she wakes for the right ones." I approached, breath fogging my visor. Inside the pod lay a woman, ethereal, beautiful, her features a blend of human grace and something alien. Skin shimmering like iridescent scales, eyes closed in serene repose. My scanner beeped. Hybrid biology, neural links to the station itself. She wasn't just resting, she was integrated, a living core powering this forsaken outpost. The girl's voice dropped to a whisper. "Are you alone, mister? Mommy can fix that. She's the kindest." A chill raced down my spine. This wasn't a rescue. It was an invitation to something profound, terrifying. What had I stumbled into? None of us were prepared for the truth. As I studied the pod, memories flooded back. My own isolation, forged in the fires of loss. I'd lost my crew in a nebula ambush years ago, their screams still echoing in my nightmares. Since then, I'd wandered, a ghost ship captain haunting the stars. But here, in this alien sanctum, the girl's words burrowed deeper. marry my mom. It sounded absurd, childlike, yet it carried the weight of cosmic decree. She tugged my sleeve. Touch the crystal. It'll show you. Hesitant, I placed my hand on the pod surface. A surge of energy coursed through me, visions exploding in my mind. Flashes of a war-torn world, aliens fleeing extinction, merging their essence with human refugees. This woman, Ilera, her name whispered in my thoughts, was a symbiote queen, guardian of a dying race. Her kindness was legendary, bonding with the lonely, granting them purpose through union. But at what cost? The visions shifted. The girl wasn't her daughter, not biologically. She was a projection, an echo of Ilera's lost child, designed to lure compatible souls. I pulled back, gasping, This is a trap? The girl shook her head, tears welling. No, it's a gift. Mommy chooses carefully. You're alone like she was. Doubt clawed at me. Was this salvation or enslavement? The station shuddered, as if sensing my turmoil. But that was only the beginning of the revelations. I demanded answers. Who built this place? Why me? The girl, Lila, she called herself, led me to a console, her fingers dancing over holographic keys with unnatural precision. Screens flickered to life, displaying logs in a hybrid language my translator struggled with. This station, Ether's Cradle, was a relic from the Convergence era, when humans first encountered the Zorathians, ethereal beings of light and thought, decimated by a cosmic plague. Ilera, their last queen, had fused with human tech to survive, creating symbiotes, merged entities stronger than either alone. Many came before, Lila said softly. Warriors, explorers, the broken. Mommy healed them, made families among the stars. I scrolled through the logs, success stories of bonded pairs colonizing new worlds, but also failures, minds shattered by incompatible merges, bodies rejected like foreign organs. The risk was real, visceral. Yet, as I watched Ilera's form in the pod, a pull grew within me. Her kindness wasn't mere words. It was a force, radiating empathy that soothed my scarred soul. Outside, the rogue planet's storms raged, lightning illuminating derelict ships orbiting like tombstones. How many had docked here, drawn by the same signal? What I discovered next would test everything I believed. Deeper in the archives, I found a hidden file, Ilera's own story. She wasn't always a queen. Once, she was a Zorathian scientist, experimenting with human DNA to save her people. The plague had wiped out billions, leaving her alone with her daughter, the real Lila, who perished in the final waves. Grief drove Ilera to this station, where she engineered the projection to seek out the alone ones, believing unity could conquer isolation. But there was a catch. The merge required vulnerability, a stripping of defenses. For me, that meant confronting my past, the betrayal by my own command during the wars, leaving me adrift. As I delved, the station's AI awakened, Ilera's voice echoing in my helmet, soft, melodic, like wind through crystal chimes. Elias, she murmured, though I'd never spoken my name, you've carried your solitude like armor. Let me share it. Her presence enveloped me, warm and inviting. Lila beamed. See, she's kindest. Tension coiled in my gut. This could be the end of my wandering, or the erasure of who I was. A sudden alarm blared. Incoming vessels. Pirates? Rivals? The station's defenses flickered weakly. What happened next changed everything. I raced to the observation deck, Lila trailing behind. Through the viewport, 3 sleek corvettes approached, weapons hot. My scanner identified them. Scavengers from the Orion cartel, notorious for stripping derelicts and enslaving survivors. They'd picked up the same signal, but for them, it was prey, not promise. Hide. I told Lila, but she shook her head. Mommy can protect us, but she needs you. The pod hummed louder, Ilera's eyes fluttering open in my mind's eye. The merge, partial, tentative, began as I linked my suit to the console. Power surged through me, Zorathian knowledge flooding my thoughts, strategies for defense unfolding like blueprints. Laser fire grazed the hull, shaking the station. I activated turrets long dormant, weaving through the attackers with newfound precision. One Corvette exploded in a bloom of fire, debris scattering like stars. But the cartel fought back, boarding parties breaching the airlocks. Blaster in hand, I met them in the corridors, my movements enhanced by Ilara's influence, faster, sharper. Lila's projection flickered, her form glitching under stress. In the chaos, a revelation hit. The cartel wasn't random. Their leader, a grizzled human with cybernetic eyes, barked orders. The Queen's essence, worth billions. Take the core. They knew. Somehow, word of Ilara had leaked into the black market. The battle raged, my body aching from wounds, but Ilara's voice urged me on. Together, we are unbreakable. We repelled them. The last ship limping away into the void. Exhausted, I slumped against the pod, Lila curling beside me. But that victory was merely a prelude to deeper shadows. With the immediate threat gone, Ilara's full story unraveled. Through the link, I saw her world. Zorith Prime, a paradise of floating cities and luminous seas, ravaged by the plague, an engineered bioweapon from rival empires. Ilara had sacrificed everything, merging with human volunteers to create hybrids. But the process wasn't perfect. It demanded emotional synchronization, a marriage of souls. Lila, the projection, was more than bait. She was Ilara's conscience, selecting only those whose loneliness mirrored her own. I've waited centuries, Ilara confessed to my thoughts. For one who understands a void. My own memories surfaced. Childhood on a dying colony, parents lost to radiation storms, then the wars that took my crew. Alone, always alone. Her kindness offered completion, but fear gnawed. Would I lose myself? As days blurred, station time dilated by gravitational anomalies, I bonded with Lila, teaching her human games, sharing stories of Earth. She laughed, a sound like tinkling bells, but her form grew fainter, the station's power waning. A moral dilemma loomed. Accept the merge or leave, dooming them to fade? The choice weighed heavy, stars mocking my indecision. Then the turning point arrived, unforeseen and shattering. Scans detected an anomaly, a wormhole opening nearby, spitting out a fleet, not enemies but a human expedition from the core worlds. They'd tracked ancient signals, seeking lost tech. But among them was Dr. Mira Voss, a name from my past, my former lover, presumed dead in the wars. Her ship hailed. Elias, is that you? Shock rooted me. Mira alive? The girl who'd shared my bunk, dreamed of stars with me, vanished in a battle I'd fled. Guilt crashed over me. I'd abandoned her, thinking her gone. Lila's eyes widened. Another alone one? Ilara's voice tensed in my mind. She brings complication. Choose wisely. The expedition docked, Mira striding in with a team of scientists, her face lined, but fierce. We thought you were dead, she said, embracing me stiffly. Her eyes flicked to the pod, widening. What is this place? Explanations tumbled out, but suspicion brewed. Myra's team saw opportunity. Harvest Ilara's tech for humanity's advancement. This could end wars, cure diseases, Mira argued. But the entity, it's dangerous. Conflict erupted. Ilara pleaded through me. They'll dissect me, end the legacy. Lila clung to my leg. Don't let them take Mommy. Betrayal simmered. Myra's true intent revealed in hushed calms. Sell the symbiote to the highest bidder. My past love, twisted by ambition. The station became a battleground again, loyalties fracturing. What I did next redefined my existence. In the heart of the hub, as Myra's team advanced on the pod, I made my stand. Activating Ilara's defenses, force field snapped up, isolating us. This isn't yours to take, I growled. Myra's eyes flashed hurt, then resolve. You've changed, Elias. That thing's in your head. Blasters fired, but the merge deepened. Ilara's power flowed fully, granting me ethereal shields, telekinetic bursts. I disarmed them non-lethally, Lila's projection aiding with illusions, ghostly figures distracting the invaders. In the melee, Mira cornered me. Remember us? We were alone together once. Her words stung, echoing the girls. But Ilara's kindness revealed the truth. Mira had faked her death for glory, leaving me broken. With a surge, I subdued her team, forcing a retreat. As their ships fled, the wormhole collapsed, sealing us in solitude once more. Exhausted, I returned to the pod. I'm ready, I whispered. The merge began, light enveloping me, minds intertwining. Pain, then ecstasy, loneliness dissolving into unity. Lila's form solidified, no longer projection, but part of us. Family, she said, smiling. But the cosmos held one final twist. Years passed in the station's timeless embrace, or was it moments? Time bent around us. United, Alara and we rebuilt the station into a beacon, drawing other lost souls. Hybrids formed, a new civilization blooming in the void, yet a shadow lingered, the plague's remnants, dormant in Alara's code, awakening. Our bond revealed it, a failsafe designed to prevent overreach. The emotional low crushed us. To save the new family, we must separate, sacrificing our union. In a tearful ritual, we parted, Alara retreating to stasis, me left human once more, but changed. Lila, now a true hybrid child, stayed with me. You're not alone anymore, Daddy. We ventured forth, the eternal drift carrying seeds of kindness across the stars. And as we sailed into the unknown, her words echoed eternally. She's the kindest. The end? No, the cosmos is vast, and loneliness calls to many. What awaits next could change everything.